Afternoon, everybody. We are back to Big Ben on Campus, and we are live March 2nd, 2017. My name is Jeff. They call me the Big Ben on Campus here, as always, with my co-host, Ryan and Mika. Ryan, it is a special day today. Do you know why?
It's a special day.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you why if you don't.
Let me think.
It actually has to do with you.
It has to do with me?
Yes.
No kidding.
Yes, and I'm going to be the first to let everyone know.
Okay.
This is Ryan's, at least for the foreseeable future. There might be sporadic opportunities, but due to a new job opportunity Ryan got, he will not be on the show regularly anymore. I will either be doing it by myself or having Donnie or whoever on. Ryan is growing up in the world, I guess, and moving on to bigger and better opportunities. And if I'm correct, Ryan, this opportunity won't allow you to be home in time. You won't even be near here at that time. So, I'm hoping at some point we can get you on, sporadically. You never know. But
of course.
I guess it's my time to grow my wings. It sucks because, listen, it's nice having Donnie or Ian or whoever on, but it's totally different when the person's right next to you. So,
no, you're absolutely right.
Again, we'll miss your fives and plays of the day and all that sort of thing. But, all good things come to an end, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, and like Jeff said, I'll kind of be around here and there and when I can, and who knows, maybe I'll call in from time to time because what I'll be doing is a sales position, so I'll be kind of by myself for the majority of the time. So hey, if I have 10, 15 minutes of downtime,
we'll have to get you at some point.
Maybe I can call in. So.
I do want to say one thing. One day when I do get to where I want to be in this business, I firmly intend to get Ryan involved with whatever I'm doing. So I think at some point we'll have a show together at some point. So it is what it is. But I hate to see you go, man. But.
Yeah, and especially now where it's kind of the time of the year that we're in, which is obviously college basketball and then baseball coming up. I mean, it's a lot of weekday shows. I mean, really, that's what it is.
Right.
Not a lot. Back in the NFL, it was like we would do a Friday night show or a Saturday or definitely a Sunday show. Now it's majority of that's during the week, which
I mean, you know how we are with baseball. Maybe we'll fit something in, during the summer or something. But let's welcome in our guest, who I'm sure we'll hear a lot more from. And again, guys, with our new show on SBR on Fridays and Wednesdays, I'm probably going to cut out a Wednesday show from here on out. I just don't really. Maybe after the tournament we'll probably do that, just because I don't really foresee a need to continue to do a Wednesday show when we have the show. Donnie, my partner on the right side of campus, how you doing tonight?
Doing good, man. Hey, by the way, Ryan, going from part-time to full-time at Dutch Wonderland, man. That is impressive.
Thanks.
Yeah, I guess you got to graduate to sell tickets or something. I don't know.
Hey, Ryan, congratulations, man. Seriously, man.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Yeah, good for you, Ryan.
Thanks, guys.
Congrats, man.
Yep.
I know Dutch Wonderland. You've been there for some time.
Yeah.
And,
it was a job. I got my foot in the door. Now I'm blossoming.
Now you're taking tickets from people. You're not cleaning the bathroom. So good job. Great job, man. Now Ryan, for what it's worth, is doing a high-end sales position. I'm not sure, Ryan, that I see you in sales, but I think
that's
your personality's pretty good. So I think you'll be just fine. And you work for a pretty good company. So we'll see how it goes. Hopefully it all works out for you. But you're still my friend. I still have to see you every day, unfortunately. But whatever. Let's move on.
Right.
Donnie Rightside, welcome in as always. We're going to need you to take on a little bit more responsibility, I think, with the show here. Do we leave?
Hey, let's do it. By the way, taking on more responsibility. I know you said you're going to have something real special tonight, Jeff. Maybe one of those 4-team money line parlays for your clients. Is that true?
Yeah, I was thinking about it. I just don't know. I mean, I know that the new fad nowadays is giving out 3-team parlays at $700 a piece and getting back $80 in your $100 bet. But that's just not my style, Ryan.
No, never has been.
But again, might look out for it at some point. I guess that's the new fad nowadays. And then rolling on Twitter how good you are as a handicapper. And by the way, to all those people out there that are starting an upcoming podcast, welcome to the business. Maybe they can take me down.
Yeah.
I don't know. But let's jump into tonight's action. Obviously, last night, Ryan, great call with your play of the day on Rhode Island. That was actually a premium of mine as well. So we were kind of both on the same wavelength there. That was an easy winner, man. It really was. I actually didn't have a winning night last night, Ryan. I went 1-1. LAU Brooklyn didn't even win the game, let alone cover. It's hard to cover when you cannot get any sort of separation from your opponent. They lose outright at home to Robert Morris.
Yep.
Pretty
The Fighting Hank Fraley's.
Oh, good. Is that where you went?
Yes.
How do you know that? By the way,
that's just my thing.
Honey buns hang for. How do you, it's weird that you.
You know I'm good with guys where they went to college and football.
All right, how about this one? Kerry Williams.
Yeah, Washburn.
Wow, you do know your stuff. Good call. Sam Rayburn.
That's a tough one. I cannot.
I believe
remember
Oklahoma.
That. Well, I cannot remember that one.
If you know who Sam Rayburn is, I got to give you credit. Do you know who Sam Rayburn is, Donnie?
What, the truck driver? He used to pull the horn every time he got a sack for the Birds.
Yes.
Him and Paul Grass-Manis.
Yeah. See, what's good about Donnie is he's an Eagles fan, so he remembers.
Number 91.
He
remembers those.
I love all those.
Yeah, he remembers Brandon Whiting and all
That's funny. Brandon Whiting was involved in that Terrell Owens deal.
Darwin Walker.
Yeah,
We could go on and
best
on.
deal of all time. You know what I mean? You get Terrell Owens straight up for like a 5th rounder and Brandon White.
Here's a good one for you, Donnie. N.D. Kalu.
Yeah, exactly. I remember N.D. Kalu choking in the locker room and somebody happened to give him the Heimlich maneuver.
You're a funny guy, man.
great.
But let's jump into tonight's action. I went 2-1 last night on the free picks. We're rolling with free picks right now. Last couple of days, I think we only have 1 or 2 losses. Ian Cameron came on, did a great job. We all liked Marquette. They finally put the fucking nail in Xavier's coffin. See you later, Xavier. Have fun in the NIT.
One game I didn't look at last night, which was a late game that he was talking about. Did Utah State end up?
Let's not talk about that.
Okay, sorry.
Right.
No, I'm serious. I didn't.
Well, no. Here's the reasoning behind why I don't want to talk about that. So basically, I have a book. One of my books. It's a local, and basically my goal every night is I take one play, and if I hit it, I just keep rolling with it.
Right.
So last night I had Rhode Island. I put that in. It hit. So I'm thinking I'm going to put another play in too, just because I want to. So I do Georgia, UNLV. I moneyline parlay them.
Utah State or UNLV?
Or Utah State, I'm sorry, yeah. It paid out like, it was a nice plus money price, like plus 125 or something. So I bet it. Georgia hits. They win by 1.
Yeah.
All Utah State has to do is win, which I mentioned on the show. I thought that was a great moneyline parlay, those two teams, because you're getting plus money back. All they're going to do is win. UNLV plays the game of their life, of course. And Utah State loses. That Utah State team, what a brutal game. I
didn't see 1 minute of it. So.
No, UNLV won. We also had New Hampshire. They get it done against Maryland, Baltimore County. They end up pulling away in that game. That UNH team, look out in America East. That might be one of the teams that can dethrone the mighty Catamounts of Vermont. They rolled Maine last night.
Yeah, they did.
The loser last night was Wagner. They win by 2. And again, another team. Both games last night in the NEC were tough sledding for me. I lost Wagner. I also lost LAU Brooklyn. I've been rolling in these conference tournaments other than that conference.
Yeah.
So let's jump into tonight's action here. As always, Chatbox is a little quiet today.
Very.
Usually we're rolling with people in by now. Not sure if people are just tuning in late or what's up, but if you're out there in the chat box, welcome in. Lopezzy, Jonathan, Burnsy, everyone out there listening, welcome. I know a lot of people don't go on the chat box. Donnie, let's jump into it here.
Yep.
First game on the card. Again, these are free plays. Let's jump into it. I'm gonna go with this one, Ryan. I'm gonna go with BU, Boston University, minus 7.5 against Loyola, Maryland. This is a game that I've kind of spent a lot of time on. Donnie, you and I talked about it earlier. I faded Loyola, Maryland the other night against Lafayette. I had it as a premium, and Lafayette was an easy cover. Now Loyola's got to go on the road after a game that they did not play particularly well, and they were lucky to win that game. Now they're going to go on the road and play in the second round here against Boston University, who has been off. They got the bye in the first round. Now they're at home, and in a place where you look at BU, 11-4 straight up at home this year, Ryan. 76 points a game, really been on point offensively at home. And you look at defensively, I mean, it's been tough sledding trying to score against BU as well. Opponent shooting just 42% this year. And BU can also stroke it from 3, Ryan. Why don't you see that percentage? 39%.
For Boston, yeah, 39%.
Pretty impressive. And you look at Loyola, I mean, they've struggled all year on the road, 5-11 overall. They've struggled to get stops. Opponents shooting 48% against them, and the scoring has been pathetic. 63 points game. We watched them the other night against Lafayette, who is another pretty good defense team. Loyola really struggled to score, Ryan, in that game. I mean, they only scored 67 points, got the win, but again, they were playing a team that also had trouble scoring. For me, I just think BU's the much better basketball team here. My one concern is, BU doesn't necessarily blow a ton of teams out. Obviously, you don't get a ton of blowout victories in this conference. I just think kind of fresh, refreshed, ready to go at home here. I think to come out with a nice effort here, and I think to get a double-digit win here against Loyola Maryland. Again, I always have a pretty good read on this conference, so I'm going to go with BU. I'm going to lay it with the home dog. A nice spot for me. Donnie Wrightside, any opinion on this game?
Yeah, I mean, I would tend to agree with you on that, big man. If you're looking at Boston University's offense, and especially in these leagues, you need teams that be able to shoot the three and technically stop the three or have like a defensive, strategy that works. If you're looking at BU, they're going to fire away from three in conference, shooting 40% of their shots from three-point land, and Loyola Maryland doesn't really put up too much of a defense. Ninth in the conference, giving up almost 37% from three, and you say, all right, well, maybe if they have, a packed-in defense, they can sort of, counterbalance that three-pointers. Not to say. I mean, 54% just about in conference, dead last at defending the two. There's not much that Loyola does that's going to help themselves out in this equation. If you flip it over to the Loyola Maryland offense, Jeff, 33% from three, under 50% from two. Boston is a pretty good defensive team inside of the three-point line. I'm on the same wavelength there. They're ready. They're at home. Crowd's going to be a nice little, juiced up as opposed to those normal games in the Patriot League. So I would lean towards Boston here getting a double-digit win. I'm on the same wavelength.
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of, in this spot, I just don't feel like Loyola's going to go in and pull one of those Campbell type of games today. They don't have a guy like a Chris Clemens on their team. They're just kind of a team where we'll bow out, they'll go away. And I firmly believe I have BU plus 550 to win this conference. I think, they are a team that could maybe make some waves against Bucknell. You never know. Ryan, do you have any thoughts here on this one?
Yeah, I like BU as well. I kind of piggyback off what Donnie was talking about as far as the perimeter game and most in particular the 3-point game. You look at each team split the pair this year. Boston won the latest game by 15. Defended the three decent, but in the first matchup where Maryland did squeak one out against Boston, they shot 53% in that game. And Boston only made 1 out of 18. So, and it was a 4-point game. Right. So, I mean, I can't fathom Loyola shooting like that again, and Boston being that ice cold. Another thing that stood out to me about those previous two games, in each one of those games, Loyola had 20 turnovers in each. You have that many turnovers, you're flirting with disaster. If they have anywhere upwards of that amount tonight, look for Boston to really kind of lay the lumber. I like Boston as well in this spot.
Yeah, I think it's all kind of a pretty good spot here for this one. I think BU kind of, like I said, refreshed. They should come out here and...
Especially I like these tournament games too. You feel, at least I feel a little bit more comfortable with the fact that these home teams, it is a true home game.
Yeah.
It's not that neutral site. It makes me feel a little bit better about it.
And it's definitely a big thing in this conference.
For sure.
You're not exactly... I mean, again, I don't know exactly if I'm for sure, but... I would imagine that they are Loyola Maryland's probably bussing here. No.
Oh, dry.
Yeah, I would
100%.
I would imagine.
Yeah.
I mean, again, that's a pretty long
There's
trip.
no planes in that conference.
Maryland to Boston. You're probably
Baltimore to Boston.
You're probably talking.
That's 6-7 hours.
I'd probably say 5 or 6 hours.
I mean, you got a kid from this school. I mean, do you really have any? How do you get your juices flowing in this game? Put it that way. We had a question here on Twitter that I wanted to get to, and it's kind of interesting that we were kind of just talking about it. Mo Norman, thanks for listening, as always. Would you share your thoughts on the podcast on moneyline parlay betting versus spreads? Listen, I am a proponent of one parlay in college basketball, and that would be taking two 4-point or less favorites, so 4.5 points or less favorites, money lining them together, getting a plus money price. The key word is, will you get a plus money price back on your wager? Obviously, you're cutting out the juice. You're also getting a plus money price back. I would not, And again, let me say this again. I would not be betting more than 2 teams in that parlay. I would also not be betting on any moneyline parlay above that number. Because when you start getting up to the minus 750s, the minus 850, first of all, you're getting no value. And second of all, it's an idiotic way to bet. Listen, I don't tell anyone how to spend their money. I'm not going to, but I would never send that out to someone and say, here, take 3 teams, moneyline parlay them together, and pay me for that. I mean, it's pathetic. I mean, you should not have to pay someone for that sort of information. A monkey could pick those games and give them out. So yes, Mo, I would do it. However, it's not something I do every night. I might do it during the season, possibly once a week, maybe twice, 3 times a month. It's not something I'm looking to do now, though, due to the fact, as far as sending it to clients, that I'm not going to use it, really. Donnie, you would agree with that, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you're at home and you have nothing to do and there's a couple games on late and you don't really have a clear idea on that, you just want to have some action tonight, I agree. But as far as parlaying overall, I disagree with it because, again, just in this business, Jeff, you've been around as long as I have. It's hard enough just to win one game.
Agreed.
And you see all the collapses and the craziness. And how about the other night? I mean, we get back to the same equation. How about, hey, I have a 16 money line parlay, just throw it in there. Yeah, let me just throw the last one in there, Akron. They're playing Miami, Ohio, and that goes down. One of those games always goes down, and the risk is never worth the reward.
Yeah, and again, another thing, when I do it, it's always about, do I feel comfortable at laying 4.5 points with this team? I'll be honest, last night, Ryan, I didn't feel comfortable laying 4.5 points to Georgia.
Yeah.
I didn't feel comfortable laying 4.5 points with Utah State. In that case, I'm going to do it. But no, I wasn't brought up like that as far as in this business. I was never taught to bet like that. I was always taught bet straight bets, maybe in the NFL bet teasers, but don't make that a habit.
You always say the whole adage, big risk, big reward. This is the complete opposite. Big risk, but your reward's nowhere near being big. I mean, you're betting just straight money line, like minus 750.
Right.
I mean, that's just...
Yeah, and it's called being a bridge jumper. And if you talk to anyone out in Vegas, this is the new fad nowadays. Listen, if I was a billionaire,
I was going to say, yeah.
then maybe I would do it.
Right.
But I'm not a billionaire. And it was funny because today on VSiN, they were talking to Chris Andrews, the sportsbook director out at South Point, and he was talking about there were people that bet Gonzaga on the money line. They threw it in a parlay on Saturday. Like Donnie said, you have a great day, you get 4 or 5, all you need is Gonzaga to win.
Yep.
Who thinks they're going to lose?
Big deal, right?
And it happens very much. So, again, salute if you bet like that. Good luck. I don't want to do it, though. And I don't think to teach someone that's maybe an amateur or they're not as smart as you in this business, I think you're doing a disservice to these people coming in to maybe that haven't been betting as long as you or I have.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. I mean, there's some to it at another level where if you're, sharp better and you're sitting at home and you're going to open up like a 3-team parlay, but you're going to slowly hedge out of it just to make sure you get a profit as opposed to just saying, let's just ride out this 4-game string to see how it is. But 99% of your bettors aren't just sitting at home trying to get the best line possible and hedging out. They're just going to put in a parlay, go out with their wife or their girlfriend and check their phone later to see if it hits. So I don't agree with the parlays, 99% of the time.
Yeah, I mean, it's also not, you're not going to get any, no one's going to take you very seriously with that. I mean, your 20 people that follow you might be like, oh, you're great, you're the best thing in the world. But no one, if you're looking to grow in the business, no one is going to take you seriously betting like that. There's got to be something wrong with the chat box, Ryan.
I don't know.
There's got to be something wrong.
Tough.
Because it's like, we got a couple comments and that was it. And I know there's more than 3 people listening.
That's wild.
But either way, we may be having some technical difficulties with it today. I don't know. If you have a question, I'll try to get
Usually
to it.
It's only the sound. Like if the sound cuts out, at least people can get on the chat box and say, hey, lost sound.
Yeah.
I've never seen an issue with the chat box.
Yeah,
so.
Who knows? Let's go into the next game here. It's going to be, Ryan, a late game. I'm going to go with, and again, this is why it's a free pick. I'm going to go with Murray State +3 against Morehead State. Now, I know last night Murray State played a double overtime game against Tennessee Tech. They were lucky to get out of there, Ryan, with a win, but they got out of there with a win, and that's the big thing tonight. Many people will say to you, fade the team the next night. They're going to be tired. They're going to be this. They're going to be that. First of all, I'm a huge proponent of riding teams like this. We saw it with Campbell, Ryan, today. Who in the world thought Campbell would beat UNC Asheville? You ride the hot hand, and I really believe this is going to really upstart Murray State. I think they're going to come into this game. I got to be honest, I think this is a great matchup for Murray. I think Moorhead's a team that wants to play just like them. It's not like Moorhead comes in here with some sort of lockdown defense or something like that. This team's given up a lot of points per game. And again, I think Murray matches up well. They're a team, 81 points a game. They love to kind of go up tempo, play that typical Murray State racer basketball. The big thing for Moorhead that I have a real problem with and why I don't like to back them on a consistent basis, you look at their opposition three-point percentage, 38%. That's really high. I know in the season they were up in the 40s at one point guarding the three. They've had real trouble guarding the three-point line. And you look at their offense lately. They've struggled. 65 points a game over the last 5 for Moorhead. They're shooting only 38.5%. I'm going to ride the hot hand, Ryan, and go with Murray here. I wouldn't be surprised to see them win this game, but I'll take the 3 points in what I think is going to be a close game, put them in my back pocket. I like to ride teams like this. I think this is a great matchup for Murray.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I don't really have too much on this. I'll say very little, and then we'll get Donnie's opinion. One thing that does kind of worry me, though, about Murray is they tend to play down the competition. 3-11 ATS this year against teams under 500, so that does kind of concern me. Moorhead won the previous 2 matchups this year, albeit relatively close. The last one, which was the beginning of the month, well, I should say the beginning of February, a 1-point shootout, 101-100. Yeah, I know you're high on Murray, and I know you're high on Murray going forward in this conference. So I'll kind of be rooting you in. But yeah, man, I'll be honest, I don't have much on this. Neither team has been very profitable lately, so I'm going to steer clear. Donnie, you have any insight on this one?
Yeah, I mean, just looking even on the chat box there, the same thing that Jeff just brought up there, Obione, I guess, is talking about 20-year-olds getting fatigued.
Real quick, by the way, yeah, we're having some, at least on our end here, we're having some chat box issues. So you can see it, Donnie?
That's weird.
Oh, I can see it, yeah, yep. They're coming through.
Yeah, I mean, when I go on, like,
wow.
the actual link, I see it.
I'm on my phone app,
yes.
I'm not even on the computer.
Wow.
Yeah, I can't see it, guys. So I'm going to try to get to my phone here and see what we got. We'll update it after this. But, Donnie, I think you make a good point about the fatigue. What were you saying?
Yeah, somebody brought that up on the chat box there. 19 and 20-year-olds getting fatigued after one game, LOL. I completely agree with that. If you're looking at some of these conference tournaments, now's not the time to worry about that. If you're playing your 4th game in 4 days, I agree with that. Case in point, last year, if you're looking in like CAA action for a reason, Hofstra played basically 5 deep, and they played their 4th game in 4 nights versus UNC Wilmington, who ran 10 deep, and they ran them off the floor late in the game. In this situation, you know as well as I do, Jeff. I mean, we've all played sports before. How about in a big game environment, you win a double overtime thriller, you're excited as all get out to play the next day. You're not tired. You're looking forward to that game. In this game in particular, Murray State and Moorhead State, it's going to be the battle of the three-point line. Moorhead State in conference shooting almost 41% from 3. If they're a little bit off in this one, I think Murray can take it down. Overall, Jeff, I think actually Murray State has the better offense in this one. And again, riding the hot hand, they're excited. They played yesterday, and the same court, they're going to get the same vision tonight in this one. That's another big one. The same thing if you look tonight in the MAC conference, Metro Atlantic, that's getting underway. Look out from today to tomorrow. These teams that are playing on a neutral court, getting a win on that court before the other team actually plays on that court, if that makes sense out there, that's a pretty big thing. Murray State's going to feel a little bit at home in this one.
Yeah, I agree. And they know the dimensions they played. And by the way, Jonathan Stark and Tyrell Miller did not play particularly well last night for Murray. Croker was out as well. So they had some issues last night, and they still found a way to get it done. I like their coach down there, their new coach. I like what they're doing. Moorhead has had some turmoil this year. I don't know if many know. Moorhead's coach, Sean Woods, was relieved of his duties after having some issues with players, some actual physical issues, some treatment issues, that kind of thing. So they have a totally new coach. Again, I think he's a better coach than what they had, but I think Donnie made some great points about the fatigue. These are young kids. They're going to be ready to go.
I don't buy into that.
Neither do I.
Whatsoever. Well, especially, and Donnie, I think Donnie makes a great point. You come back tonight in a conference tournament where you know you have something to play for, which is, hey, if we don't win this thing, our season and our careers are possibly finished.
Like
so.
I can see it in like in the NBA Finals where like you lose game 2 horribly, like you lose on a buzzer beater, maybe you come out flat. I don't know.
Or if this
but,
is a team like Wisconsin that is guaranteed in the field, that winning a conference tournament. It's big for them probably, but it's not huge. You just play a double overtime game. Look, we're going to the tournament. Say they're playing like a desperate Illinois team.
Right.
I mean, I get that there.
But in a game like tonight, I don't think it makes much issue.
Yeah, evenly matched teams as well. I mean, it's not like, Presbyterian getting the win and, oh boy, they have Gonzaga next game. They're just happy to be there. These two teams are as even as it gets.
What would that final score be?
And that's a great point you make, Donnie. I think that's another interesting one. When you have a team like, let's say if Campbell were to get into the tournament and they play a 16 seed or a 1 seed, they're getting crushed. They're not a team that's going to be live and maybe hang. They're happy to be there. They're going to crawl between their legs and go away, and they'll lose by 40. Those are the kind of situations you look for. You really have to be kind of cognizant of every situation. Welcome out there also to everyone. We'll get to it now at this point. Trey, what's up? Matthew, Jay, Chip Mac, please stop. You're going to knock the thing off, Ryan. It's not working. Let's just end it. I don't want to cut it off, Ryan.
It's not going to cut it off.
Tyler, Big Reeves, Chip Mac, Ced Porter. I think the back to the parlays quick. A lot of people are agreeing. No, I don't want to take teasers. I don't care about a dead. First of all, 1 is a terrible number in basketball. If you're teasing from 5 to 1, that's not something I would be doing. I wouldn't be doing teasers anyway. Shoddy, Matthew, Mark Tinnen, Asher Musu, Guan White, Scott Schneider, Nikki T. What are your thoughts on teams on a back-to-back and scoring the next game? Yep, we just talked about that one. As far as over-unders, what do you think about that? I'm going to tell you, with this game, I don't think we're going to see a ton of defense.
Yeah, I think it depends on the team.
I don't think it matters.
Decent tempo in there. By the way, Nikki T on the chat box says, I love the MAC. When you learn, when everything that you do in sports comes back to the MAC, that's when you know you learned enough in sports to win money.
Chip Max, agreed. Chip Max says the score of the Presbyterian Gonzaga game would be like 107-32.
That's right.
That's where I would probably have it.
What was the score the other night in Presbyterian game?
Well, they lost by like 31.
Right, so they would definitely lose by like 50 or 60.
Well, yeah, I mean, I would think any of the top tier teams. What would UCLA Presbyterian be?
Yeah.
I mean, that would probably be 120.
What they did last night. They just didn't stop.
Yeah. What is your favorite conference tournament? That's a tough one. I got to tell you, I really like the Atlantic Sun. I like the MEAC. I've said that before. AAC. I like those teams. Pretty much all the small conferences.
Yeah.
Not a big SWAC or Southland guy, but I watch all of them.
Looking forward to the Big 12 this year. All your boys getting together.
Yeah.
K-State, Texas Tech.
Yeah. I can't wait. Yeah. What the hell was Julio Okafor doing?
That is unbelievable.
Yeah, he's terrible.
I saw that last night. Jeez.
Dude, he's so brutal, man. I hate.
Like, how does management watch that and say, "Hey, let's hang on to this guy"?
Let's get rid of the guy that actually does play defense.
That's unbelievable.
So I'll go Murray State +3. Final free play. Donnie, I'm going to do it. I'm going to lay the number with the Bucknell Bison tonight against Army. Number 1 seed here, Bucknell. And I want to point this out. This is just my opinion. If Bucknell, when they get into the tournament, which I think they will, they should win this conference. If they get into this tournament, they will knock a high-level team off. Mark my words. Whether they're a 14, 15, 13, they will knock off a 2, 3, or 4 seed. You've heard it here first. Donnie, am I right? This Bucknell team is really good.
No, you're right. I've been going back and forth on this game all day. I spent a lot of time on it. Actually, just missed the card. More than looking at Bucknell itself, Jeff, I was actually looking a little bit more towards the total. Army, I mean, for those who are not out there, I mean, nobody watches a lot of this conference as it is. Bucknell is a real deal offensive machine when they get it going, especially in conference. But the one thing that Army does, which you wouldn't think of, is Army pushes tempo. Unlike football with Army and Navy, where they're just, not really pushing tempo, slowing it down, running the ball. Army's kind of opposite, and they're going to play right into the hands of Bucknell. What Bucknell does, Jeff, as you said, number 1 in offense in the conference, which is great, but number 1 on defense as well. There's nothing that they don't do well, And when you get into the tournament and you play, let's just say Bucknell, Jeff, I know it's a crazy thought, matches up with like a Kentucky that just wants the, young running gun. When this team can get you into the half court, play half court defense and offense at the same time, they're going to be a lot of fun. You know what it reminds me of a lot is when a Stephen F. Austin got into the tournament, and everyone's like, man, where did this team come from? Senior laden, dominate the ball, don't turn it over, force turnovers, shoot an unbelievable clip, and defend at an unbelievable clip. They are going to be dangerous.
Well, yeah, and their offensive and defensive efficiencies are both very high, which is definitely, and that's why a lot of people, I think, in the scientific world like Gonzaga, due to the fact of their high offensive and defensive efficiency numbers. A lot of the time, as Ryan, a lot of the time you'll get a team that plays really good offense but then play like defense, something like that. With Bucknell, you're getting both of those. And you look at Bucknell this year, Ryan, been lined 5 times, covered all 5.
Correct.
Covered the other day, I had them against Navy. They jumped out they went on a 30-1 run in the first half. It was pretty nice.
How's that possible?
I don't know. 78 points a game, 49%. You look at the last 5, this Bucknell team comes into this one really shooting 51% from the field. Defensively, we talked about it, giving up just 67 points a game. And for me, you also look at Bucknell, they can really snipe from 3, 38% as well. They really just come at you. Nana Foland is a big kid down low. I don't know how much he's going to play tonight. I think he'll be in there. He got poked in the eye pretty bad a game or two ago. He was out against Navy.
Put some goggles on and get out there.
Well, again, Ryan, his cornea could be scratched or something. I don't know. I don't fuck with my eyes, man. So, even without him, though, they killed Navy. And this Army team, for a group of people like the Army, they've had some issues defending this year. That you would think Army would be good at defending, right, Ryan?
Sure.
That's kind of their MO.
Defend our country.
Yeah. They've given up 77 points a game on the road this year, and they're not. They've not been good offensively either. This should be an easy victory for Bucknell. First game, it's at home. It's a true home game. Bucknell's had no issue laying numbers like this lately. So I think we see it like we've seen with a lot of these first-round small conference games. When you have a high-level opponent, or a low-level opponent, normally we're seeing some pretty easy victories here. I think you see it similar to the way Florida Gulf Coast dispatched Stetson the other night. This should be a similar result. First half might be good play. I will point out, don't fall in love with first halves. That's another thing I would recommend as a handicapper or better. Do not fall.
Especially around that 10-point level. As well as I do. You're sweating that out all the way to the end. You literally have to have like a 40-20 half without a sweat. How many times do you see it, especially, Jeff, like the Bucknell at home? Army comes out hot. What I mean by hot, they get a 8-2 lead. Your first half is almost in danger and gone, laying 9.5 to 10 points. The only thing that's going to keep this one interesting here for me is if you looked at the previous 2 matchups, 84-76, 96-75. The one thing Army's going to do, if they're not scoring, they're still going to push tempo. And again, Jeff, that's going to play right into Bucknell's hands. Bucknell's going to score whenever, however they want. And the best thing about Bucknell as well, not only do they light it up from 3 and 2, they also get to the foul line. And Army on the opposite side will foul you. So it's basically Bucknell's going to name their score. They feel like running it to 95, they can, or are they just in control of this one and happy to take a 75-55 win?
And Ryan, sometimes you get games where you do jump out to a big lead, like Lipscomb did the other night, or like Bucknell's done. It's very rare they happen, though. And again, I'll relate it. Jimmy Vaccaro, great bookmaker and legendary odds maker, made a great point recently. The most games are always going to revert back to the number. Always. Like, they're always going to come back to the original point and where the number went. It's rare you get blowout victories, Ryan. They're hard to come by.
No,
sometimes you don't get them very often. You're going to, most of the time, be around the number.
Yep.
I think tonight this one is a 20-point win for Bucknell. I do. I think they need to set a tone in this conference and say, you know what? We will not lose this conference. You got to come to Bucknell and win, and I think they will tonight. Ryan, do you have any opinion on this game?
Yeah, it really should be a carbon copy of the first 2 matchups, really. It should be one of those kind of, home team names their score. You look, Bucknell has won at home against Arby. They've won 22 of the last 25. So, I mean, this should be a win, and they should really kind of name their score. The first two matchups, they shot 50% and 58% from the field. I would expect more of the same tonight. I just don't think Army has enough to keep up. And I would kind of echo the same sentiment. One thing I do like about Bucknell is, as far as going into the tournament, is they're senior laden, plus they're confident. And I think this is a confident group that if and when they do get in, it's not going to be too big for them. And that sometimes you see that with these kind of under-the-radar teams that they go into, and it's just too big of a stage for them. I don't think it would be for Bucknell. I would kind of ride the same wave with you guys tonight.
Hey, Don.
Yo.
We should try to get to the title game in this conference.
Is it at the home gyms?
It would be at Bucknell.
It would be at Bucknell. How far? Where? I know Bucknell's
Virginia,
in PA.
right?
How far is that
No,
from
it's in
actually
Pennsylvania.
you?
Is it?
It's in Pennsylvania.
What?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, it's up near Allentown. I'm pretty sure. I
Really?
believe it is. Yeah, Lewisburg, possibly.
I didn't think it was.
I think that's where it is.
That's what it's. I know the town name, but I actually physically don't know where it's at.
It's
I
in
know it's on the
Lewisburg,
eastern
which
side,
is
right?
there's actually a federal prison in Lewisburg. I know of. I'd have to look. Ryan, look that up for me, will you? But yeah, I know it's in Pennsylvania, definitely, and I know it's up near up
Maybe
where
like the Scranton area, Reading area, or
Up
something.
by
I don't even know where that would even be.
up by Greg the Diner Mafia. I'm pretty sure. I think it's up in the Allentown area. It's near Lake Lehigh, I think. Give me a title name there.
Lewisburg and Central PA.
Yeah, give me a map, will you?
Yeah, hold on.
Yeah, we should try to go to that, Don. That would be kind of cool.
That would be a good one.
You know, I mean, it's not that far. I'd love to see them live right before the tournament and the
Get a
title.
little Bucknell Lehigh or whatever it would be, or VU.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do we got there? Ryan's looking
Yeah,
it up
it's.
there.
I mean,
Chip Mac, give me
it's
a town. What's it near, buddy?
It's buttered right up against the Susquehanna River, so
Can't be too far.
No, exactly. It can't be too far. Looking like it's by Milton, Middleburg. Let's see.
Yeah,
I mean, it's kind of right in the middle of nowhere, to be honest.
It's
with
M.
you.
Night Shyamalan country.
Yeah, dude. It's in the middle of. It's just south of Williamsport, so it's not terribly.
It's not
far.
that far.
That's not far at all.
We should look. I might look at doing that. I mean, probably straight shot from where we are.
It's just right above Harrisburg. I'd say right above. It's a little bit up there, but it's right along the Susquehanna. So I can't imagine it would take too long to get there.
Interesting. Shout out to VIP Barbershop. They're listening in, Ryan. When he coming up to get a tape up? Soon, man. When is Ryan coming? Well, Ryan doesn't get his haircut by a man. We've talked about that. Minnesota 7.5. We'll talk about it for sure. Let's jump into the rest of the card here. We'll get Ryan. Do you have a play of the day today?
Yes, sir.
All right, we'll get into that. We'll get into most of the games here. So for me tonight, so far, I like Murray State +3, Bucknell -13, and I also like Boston University -7.5. I've been rolling lately, so you might want to jump on the free plays. They've been rolling. Everything's been rolling. So let's get into the rest of the card here. Ryan, what are we starting out with there? What's the first game on the card?
First game on the card, Rice at Marshall.
Good. A game I don't want to
Yes.
talk about. By the way, a total at 181.5. Listen,
That's wild.
in my opinion, if you get a total above 180 in college basketball, I don't care who's playing, I would take the under.
Even if it's Citadel?
Even if it's Citadel. You literally need a perfect game played. And if you go like Donnie, we've talked about, you go 5 minutes without, in the first 5 minutes.
There's just a lull.
Yeah. Even a couple minutes, you will not hit. So.
Yeah, getting back to the point on that Rice Marshall one, I follow like a Sharp Steam type report. Number one play on the Sharp report tonight is the Rice over and also the Steam report. Looking at the game, Jeff, like you would figure it would be like, one team shoots 45% from three, the other gives up 45% from three. It's really not. I mean, the tempo is going to be out of control, but tempo just doesn't equate to I'm going to get 95 points automatically.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's not a game I hate Conference USA. That's one conference
182. That's both teams theoretically need to be in the low 90s.
It's just one conference that I don't spend a whole lot of time on, particularly. Even in football, I don't really like it. I mean, there's a couple teams I like, Western Kentucky, Marshall, but...
Come on, man. Now we're going to get into a fight, aren't we?
No, we're going to move on here. No problem. UCF, South Florida. UCF off a big win against Cincinnati. This is a very low spot for them schedule-wise. I would not be surprised to see South Florida hang around here and cover this game. But I would not bet my money
They are
on
bad.
South Florida. They are pretty bad. Geno Thorpe, about the only thing that's going well for Penn State, or for the transfer for Penn State, he's about the only thing right now. South Florida, I think, is ready for the season to end. I mean, UCF, they should win. I'm not crazy about them covering, though. Any opinion from either of you? That's gonna
Go ahead, Donnie.
You're gonna hear something.
I mean, we saw him live in person. I mean, this is the one. It's when you look at a team like USF, the last thing they want is to run into defensive teams like Cincinnati and run into a defensive team like UCF. They have enough trouble scoring as it is. Again, motivation. I don't know what the factor is. Obviously, UCF is not really a tournament team. Maybe they're just looking to say, you know what, let's just roll out the W here, maybe finish the last 2 games strong. But, I mean, they have bigger plans in the conference tournament, hoping to make a run and win that automatic bid there. But USF, all right, it's home. Their last 2 games are home. Are they going to have a party there? I don't know. I mean, they're not going anywhere. And UCF just might have a tendency to overlook this game. But if your push comes to shove here, I'm taking UCF just because they can really clamp down. And there's no answers for South Florida. Like, if they come up even a little bit lame on offense, Jeff, we're looking at 55 points. I mean, I don't like the game one way or another, but I'm not backing South Florida against another team that can put the clamps down on D.
Yeah, this could be one of those patented, 65-44 type games. I would probably look under. I don't know what the number is. It's probably very low.
There's someone in the chat box talking about
yeah,
that.
I would look under. By the way, Ryan, I didn't even comment to you on Taco Fall. In person,
Yeah.
it's how about it, Donnie? He was
Hilarious.
real close to us. I couldn't believe someone's that big.
Is it weird how? Okay, I know he's tall, but is it
Well, he's fluid, right? He is fluid.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys are too young to remember a Manute Bol.
Manute Bol, yeah,
Sean
the
Bradley
Sixers,
just
yeah.
out there. The kid is fluid. He can drop step, catch a ball, and dunk with ease, where he's not even jumping off the ground, and he can shoot free throws.
And he's just so much bigger.
Which is odd
than
because he's so
everyone.
thin.
Yeah,
because he's very thin.
He's definitely improved
Is he a
a lot.
sophomore? They list him as a sophomore?
I believe so. Yeah.
Man.
So he'll be around for a year or two.
Yep.
Next one here. Let's go to where are we at here? Houston, Cincinnati. No real opinion there. I'm not a big fan of fading Cincinnati home. Houston needs this one bad, though. I mean, they really do. Maybe equate this similar maybe to last night with Wake, Louisville. Houston, they have to have this game.
Yep.
So, I've said it before. Cincinnati's good. I'm not a big Mick Cronin guy. I can tell you, gun in my head, I would take Houston here.
Cincinnati, number 1 bet on scores and odds, and the line has stayed at -8 all day.
Yeah, I would go with
I would
Houston.
go with Houston as well.
Maybe, if you're flush with cash, maybe money on it.
I mean, we've seen some games here lately with teams that have needed them and have had good performance. Vanderbilt last week saw Wake last night.
Cincinnati
gets a big win.
is squarely in the
Houston
field.
needs a win, man.
Yeah, they have no reason to win this game or care about this game. I think Houston tonight +8's pretty live. Donnie, you would agree with that, right?
I don't know. I would tend to stay away. I mean, almost to a smaller level last night on Dayton, where they're going to play their last home game, and you have 2 big seniors on this team, Copain and Johnson. They're going to want to grab this win. I think that line is there for a reason. I think they're going to come to play in a nice atmosphere, and Cincinnati just wants to keep rolling through the conference. I would tend to agree. I think the line is a little bit high, but I think it's there for a reason. I think Cincinnati's going to have something to play for tonight.
Yeah, we'll see. But again, I do like. I'm not a fan of Rob Gray. He seems like kind of an arrogant little prick, but I do like him.
And Cincinnati at home is tough.
Yeah,
So.
well, yeah, exactly. But I won't be betting it. I considered UT Arlington, to be really honest with you. They have 2 games left. They need this win to get that first seed in the tournament. UL Monroe is awful. The one issue with UL Monroe is they are bad, but they've covered numbers this year. Don't be surprised to see Arlington roll, though. Old Dominion, UTEP, Dominion up to 4. And I'm going to tell you right now, that is sharp money, Donnie, right? Betting Old Dominion, because the public has fallen in love with UTEP. And I'm going to tell you right
They
now,
have.
Old Dominion will cover. I think they'll win pretty easily, personally.
I like Old Dominion. Yeah, I haven't followed much of UTEP the year except looking at their games. I know they've been covering there, but I'm staying far away from this game as it is. I just don't really like Conference USA that much this year, but I agree. I mean, Old Dominion's been there, done that. It's like that blue blood program there. I think they're going to play defense, and Stith's a very good player, so I lean Old Dominion as well. I don't care about how many times
UTEP struggles. Yeah, UTEP struggles to score. I think they struggle to score tonight against a team that hangs their hat on defense.
This is going to be a low-scoring game.
Of course.
And I'm going to tell you right now, that money, again, betting Old Dominion, this one opened at 2.5. It's up to 4. That is sharp money betting Old Dominion. Like I've said, the public really likes UTEP at this point. Let's drop down a couple here. Iowa, Wisconsin. I mean, is anyone who wants to lay 12 points right now with Wisconsin?
Not me.
I mean, I wouldn't lay 12 points with them with.
I'm not sure I'd lay 8.
Anyone.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I'd lay 8 or 9. I'm being serious.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with that number.
Koenig's all messed up.
I'll probably bet Iowa just to bet Iowa. I don't think.
The only thing is, I don't know what spot they're sitting in there. I think Wisconsin still has an outside shot at the Big Ten regular season title when Iowa is just playing out the string. And I mean, I can see why people would back Wisconsin just on that type of angle, but I'm not really interested in laying too many points with Wisconsin at this point. But they do have a little bit to play for.
Yeah, maybe, but I'm not crazy about backing them either.
I had a couple of people on Twitter say take money line Iowa. I was like, I'm not interested in that either.
Me either.
Yeah,
I'll just avoid that one.
I'll stay away.
Nebraska, Minnesota 8, 139.5. I got to tell you, I don't know how Tim Miles isn't maybe a walking wounded kind of guy. Tim Miles continues to just not do anything in Nebraska. I mean, he gets 1 or 2 big wins a year and does nothing with it. I'm not. There's a lot of games on the board. This is not one I'm interested in.
Tough conference though for him year after year, and I mean,
this conference isn't
since
very
when is
good
Nebraska a basketball powerhouse? So
yeah, but I mean,
I hear you.
You can't make the tournament.
I hear you.
I mean, Donnie, anything on this one?
No, I don't have any thoughts on that one. That's just one of those dead games again. Just waiting for the end of the season with the tournament right on the corner.
Hawaii, UC Davis. I know I'm not a big fan of backing Hawaii off the mainland, but UC Davis has a huge game, Ryan, coming up with UC Irvine on Saturday. UC Irvine won last night. That means they're ahead of UC Davis. There's a weird spot here. I get they need the game, but they got a big one coming up too. I don't think UC Davis is very good, personally. Donnie, we've bet on them a couple times this year.
Yeah, I mean, does this conference really just tell you about just whatever the points are, just take them anywhere, anytime in this conference is the way it is?
Yep, agreed. A lot of these games, I mean, late season, a lot of Big Sky tonight. They're, again, not in their conference tournaments yet. This is the last game of the season. How about Radford, Ron? They have the upsets in the Big South. Liberty, the 2-seed, 3-seed loses. UNC Asheville, the 2-seed loses. That means the second round game is going to be between Radford and Campbell. How about that?
Interesting.
There's always an upset conference, and that might be the Big South today. So, again, Donnie, maybe Charleston Southern tonight or High Point maybe?
Yeah, no, interesting. I'm going to abstain from one of those games, the Winthrop game, either way, both on the side and total, but we're open to talk about the other one for sure.
Other one that's interesting, I have actually a premium play on the North Florida Lipscomb game.
Uh-huh.
As far as the side's concerned, I got to tell you, how much will Lipscomb continue to shoot this well? Will they continue to shoot this well, going forward? I mean, they're shooting at an unreal rate. I feel like you just take North Florida just in case,
It's funny, look at that, though. I mean, North Florida beat that team twice. It's amazing. Lipscomb rolls just about everybody in that conference except has a real problem with North Florida.
Yeah, they've lost both games this year. Ryan, what's your play of the day today? Do you have one?
Yeah, I'm going to go with kind of a larger number, but
a larger number.
Yeah, I'm going to lay it with.
Can I guess what it is?
Yeah,
SMU.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to lay with SMU. Actually, I know.
Wow.
I know. I'm sure a lot of people aren't high on it, but
I am. I like them at home.
Yeah, and that's kind of part of the reason is obviously them at home. I mean, you talk about one of the better ATS teams in the country. Look no further than SMU, 18-5 altogether as a favorite, 17-3. I mean that number alone is staggering. In conference, they're 13-2. I mean, really, you can go on and on and on about how good they've been ATS. And look, defensively, I'm just not sure how Tulsa scores enough to kind of keep the game close. I mean, SMU giving up 56 points per game. You look on the road, Tulsa scoring 63 points per game at home. I think SMU look, and I know Tulsa, not a bad defensive team at all, but I think SMU at home, a different animal, playing good basketball right now, covering. They cover at home, scoring 70 points per game over their last 5. Wish that number was a little higher, but I'm going to go with SMU in a matchup that I think gets out of hand and they kind of roll with. But that's the direction I'm in tonight.
Yeah, I mean, Tulsa has really had issues at times scoring this year. Frank Haith has had a tough year with this team. They've actually been a little bit better than I thought they'd be. But, I mean, for the record, it hasn't been easy, put it that way. And
no.
I've said before, I think that's one of the best home courts you're going to find. Moody Coliseum.
And you like SMU, so.
Yeah, I love SMU.
Especially going forward.
Very high on them. The one thing about them is good is they don't take out their starters because they can. I mean, they don't really have an ability to do that. Right. So you're going to get full effort, I think, from the end. And listen, I mean, SMU is always trying to continue to impress. I don't think a closed game against Tulsa would be something they want. I also think, Ryan, something you have working for you is a couple weeks ago they struggled against Tulane. It was a tough fought game that
for a while.
Yeah, I think they're not going to forget that one. And again, they got a big game on Saturday, senior night against SMU or Memphis. I like to play. Again, it's a lot of points, but I don't mind the play. Donnie, do you have an opinion on that?
I don't really have too much of an opinion, just some outlying thoughts on that one. If you look at SMU itself, I mean, they're 2 games clear of Cincinnati, so they just have to win one of their last 2. I actually would have liked it better if they were only 1 game clear because it really would have pressed the metal on this one. I don't see Tulsa. Again, Tulsa's not playing for anything, just heading into the tournament itself. And if you look at the cupcakes that they play, like South Florida beating them, and also East Carolina. East Carolina's coming on down the stretch, but not a real good team. But the Hammers in the conference, they dropped by 9 points to Houston. UCF just locked them up in a similar type way that SMU by 18. And then Cincinnati got after them with a 20-point loss. The MO there is when the conference play steps up on defense, they don't respond, and that's what you're looking at here.
I like to play, Ryan. Good luck to you as always. Maybe we can get you going out on a high note here with your play of the day. I'm sure we'll hear 1 or 2 from you going forward at some point.
Sure.
By the way, I'm not a fan of blondes, Ryan. You know that. I don't really like blondes.
Man, come on now, Jesus.
Well, I'm just saying. Jillian Mealy, though,
I like
is
them all.
Very hot. Very hot.
Yeah. Well,
what's she doing now anyway? No more.
She goes on. It's pretty cool because she goes on Philly Sports Talk
every segment every day.
Yeah, every day on Philly Sports Talk, she goes on and just bullshits.
Try to pull some more listeners in.
Yeah, I'm not sure how she doesn't have a job yet. I get the feeling she'll be out of here pretty soon to go somewhere else.
I would. I was just going to say, if I were her, I would go somewhere else. I know she likes the area and everything, but you could get a more.
You got to remember, Ryan. She's also not a sellout. She doesn't just date athletes to get jobs like other people in this town.
But I mean, she's not getting any younger. I mean, she's well into her 30s. I mean, there's and she's single, so
very attractive.
Yeah.
Again,
Comcast is national too. I mean, they can't put her on a desk somewhere in one of these cities,
right?
Yeah, I gotta wonder about that because they got rid of Neil Hartman and some of the older blood. Ron,
right on the desk.
Ron Burke left.
Complain about that.
Yeah, throw her on Sportsnet.
Right.
By the way, another blonde that's gotten better looking over the years is Leslie Goodell. Or not Leslie Goodell. The one that the one that was on
Amy Fadul.
Oh, right. Yeah, her, Amy Fadul.
She's got that mom glow now.
Yeah, she looks.
A couple kids. Yeah,
she looks good now.
Married the producer.
Donnie, before we go tonight, anything you're looking forward to tonight, or you want to make us aware of?
Some people were asking about if there's a play or two out there you're looking at.
Again, tonight's card, I really limited it down and worried about 1 to 2 games. The one that just missed the card.
By the way, Ryan, real quick, Donnie's gotten to his 2-game allotment this week that he bets on. So I think.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm really up against it. Like, I don't even know if I want to put out another play the rest of the week.
What do you got?
Getting back to it, on the Army Bucknell game, if I'm looking at anything in that one, for me, the over just missed being a premium play in that respect, so I would lean towards an over there. I just like a team like Bucknell that can score with anybody, anywhere, anytime, and the one thing that matches up perfectly with Bucknell is if the other team runs tempo against them, they're going to fill it up against Army. I think Army can come back and score a little bit. When I was doing some of the numbers earlier, about Army itself. Let me just go back and peel these back. First 2 games, again, 84-76, 96-75. If you're looking at Bucknell itself against the top 4 teams in that conference, running the ball, so to speak, with tempo, they average over 82 points a game in that conference, and the number 1 tempo team along with them would be Army pressing them. So Bucknell, if they want to get into the 80s, they'll get there. They don't give up so much, as much as you would like because the defense is very good. But I'm looking at Bucknell to just say, you know what, we're in front of our home court now. Let's just run it up there. 85 to 90 points should be able to get it done for them. I don't like the overall number laying more than double digits in a conference tournament, but I think Army's going to press them. If Army's anywhere close in this ball game, they're going to foul and extend that game over the last 2.5 minutes. Look for the over in that one. If you get somewhere, I believe it's like 149-ish. 80 to 70, 85 to 70, somewhere in that range. That's a pretty good number for that, so we'll see what happens there. I would lean over in that one if you're going to look for a play tonight.
I don't know. I guess for me, the only thing about that, I just see the game as like 83-67 or something like that. But, I definitely think tempo, I think Bucknell's going to be able to do kind of whatever they want. It's Ken Army, score 70. That's what you need. But, yeah, I think it should get to 150, I would hope. Donnie Rightside, my man, my partner on the right side of campus. By the way, Ryan, we will have the right side of campus tomorrow, 12:30 Eastern on SBR Sports Picks. We had a lot of fun yesterday. We did the show, and then we had we weren't really aware we were still being recorded, and we just talked about random shit for like 20 minutes.
Yeah, some pizza, some Jordans, whatever.
McDonald's.
Yeah.
Remy Ma.
Remy Ma. We took to the Remy Ma desk. We talked about our hobbies. We talked about how many women I've had sex with. Because some guy was trying to be a smartass and said, "Have you had sex with 10 women?" And
No, the best one seriously is you're saying that you love going to the beach but not in the water, and then somebody just chimes in because you would sink in the water.
Yeah,
that was a funny comment.
Yeah, I don't like the ocean.
I love that. Again, man, we bust balls with people out there all the time. I love when they bust them back. It makes for a fun show.
If you can't take ball busting, it's going to be a long life.
Yeah, of course. But we'll be back tomorrow, as always. So Donnie will catch him with me live on the show then. Donnie, thanks for coming on. As always, we appreciate it, and
thanks,
we'll talk to you again soon.
Absolutely. Take care, guys. Thank you.
Yep,
all right, Donnie. Donnie Rightside from DonnieRightside.com chiming in. Can we answer this? Let's answer.
These fuckers call me.
Let's see who this is.
Somehow they got my number.
Let's see who this is. Las Vegas number.
Calling me.
Hello.
Good afternoon. This is Mike, VIP Sports. How you doing, sir?
Oh, doing great. How you doing?
Buddy, I'm fantastic, man. It's March Madness. Boss just wanted me to call you to go ahead and give you the game today. You got a pen?
Yeah, I do. I got a pen. What do we got?
Okay. Well, buddy, we got an absolute blowout winner tonight. How's the season treating you so far? You doing okay out there?
I'm doing okay. I could do.
Glad to hear that. Have you made any plays on your own for today, or?
Yeah, I got 5 plays in.
Okay, who'd you take?
I'm on Murray State, Bucknell, a couple other teams.
Okay, well, beautiful, man. I mean, obviously, you can use an extra blowout winner tonight, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Did you bet anything in the NBA tonight, or what?
No, I haven't bet anything in the pros yet.
Okay, perfect. So, let's do this. Right now, my name and number so you know who I am. Let me know when you're ready.
Okay, go ahead.
Again, my name is Mike. Last name is Cruz. That's C-R-U-Z.
Like Tom?
Victor Cruz, Nelson Cruz, Mike Cruz.
Like
name
Tom?
of the company is VIP Sports. And I'm sure you've seen our TV show, Money Talks, on CNBC, right?
Yeah, I didn't know that was on.
That hasn't been on in a while, huh?
Yeah, anyway.
We got our second season, believe it or not, starting this summer, man. We're all excited. I'll keep you in tune on that. Let me give you the toll-free number. It's 877
Okay.
220-6540, 6540.
Got it.
And if you don't mind me asking, I mean, what's an average bet for you right now? Like a couple hundred a game, couple thousand? Or?
I bet about $250 a game.
Okay, $250 a game. Now, are you betting local, you betting online, or are you doing both?
I do both.
Okay, perfect. Now, I see here you actually went to our website a while back ago. I mean, is there any reason why you haven't signed up yet, or what?
Because I like get my bets from real sports handicappers, not fucking Scanby-cappers like you.
Oh, I got you. Oh, you're one of those guys.
Fucking idiot. Don't call me again,
you
asshole.
having a bad day, sir?
Fuck you. Get a real job. Fucking losers. That's what you got to do, Ryan.
Good. Hopefully they won't call anymore.
Well, you got to do that. You got to play them off, make them talk for a while, and then they get that.
Now the chat's up and running.
All of a sudden.
Must have been Donnie. As soon as we hang up.
I got to be honest. I get those calls too, and I don't know how I got them. Like I don't think I've ever signed up for that. So
I haven't. I don't know how the hell he got my number. You probably gave it to him.
I remember that one time we talked to Skipper.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
On the radio, online.
That's our partner.
Hey, partner. Yeah, we actually got Stevens on the phone too. I asked to talk to Steve, and he got on the phone too.
They all sound the same.
That sounded just like Steve.
I know. It
Just
sounds
like
just the same.
I've heard that pitch so many times.
Could you use an extra blowout winner tonight?
I already knew his name was.
It
Mike
sounded like
Williams.
that other kid, that kid that did that protege.
Pirelli?
Not Pirelli, the younger black kid that they were teaching.
Yeah,
what was his name?
I forget.
But that's who it sounded like.
What do you got, Ryan, on questions today? Anything?
No, I don't have any.
You got to take us out on one more.
I got 5 questions here to kind of take us home here.
I don't usually entertain those calls, but I thought, what the hell, you know?
Yeah, I like these questions tonight.
All right, Ryan's going out on a high note. He's giving us questions.
They came pretty easily to me tonight. So,
all right.
First one. It involves the Eagles. A lot of Eagles talk today. A lot of stuff happened today.
Yep.
How would you attack their lack of wide receivers, the wide receiver epidemic? Would you, A, trade for Brandon Cooks, which has been discussed today that they're a team vying for Brandon Cooks? Would you, 2, sign a big-time wide receiver in free agency, Alshon Jeffrey, maybe bring Deshaun back? Or would you draft a wide receiver in the first round, Mike Williams, Corey Davis, kid from Washington?
Right.
What would you do?
Well, if it was my decision, I don't think they can get Brandon Cooks. I think it would take a first-round pick probably, and I don't know if they're willing to part with that. I don't know that Brandon Cooks is worth that either. He's a good receiver.
He's not worth a first-round
I'm not sure he's worth. Yeah,
not a first-round pick.
Like I've said before, good, not great. I don't want to really part with a first-round pick just because I made it clear I don't give a shit about draft picks. One thing I do care about is a first-round pick. However, I mean, if you can try to get Deshaun Jackson, I would probably do that, and I would go the route in the draft. If you can get me Deshaun and a big receiver, I'm happy with that.
I really like Brandon Cooks. If they can get him for anything under a first-round pick.
Oh, sure.
Look, he's had back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. The only player in the last 2 years that has more 30-yard receptions than him is Odell Beckham Jr. He's fantastic.
But you're not going to get him for less than a first-round pick.
He's younger than Carson Wentz. So if you can get him, yeah, he is. Wow. Even though he's been in the league for 2 years, he's younger than Carson Wentz. If you can get him for something other than a first-round pick, maybe give him a second and throw in a Connor Barwin.
But here's the thing, Ron.
A team that needs some.
Let me
defense.
ask you something, Ron. Here's my thing, though, and I want to point this out because as you were talking, I kind of said to myself, you know what? I would do whatever you have to do to get him because if you do give up a first-round pick, at least you already know Brandon Cooks is an established player.
I hear you.
And he's still very young.
I hear you.
At least you know. What are you going to get with Corey Davis? Could be a total failure.
No, absolutely.
You know, it's really hit or miss. We know Brandon Cooks is a good player. We know also, Ryan, that he's unhappy in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Bring him in here. Again, I don't know. It's all about, do you value Mike Williams that much? And can you even get Mike Williams? Because I don't think at their draft position they're going to be able to get Mike Williams.
Here's the thing. There are 2 teams that, in front of the Eagles, that would 100% take Mike Williams and or Corey Davis, which is Tennessee, which is the other team that's discussing taking him. So if they get him, check off that team. And Arizona, who will most likely pick right in front of the Eagles. So maybe they wheel and deal and jump up a spot or 2 to get him. So
I got to tell you,
it's a lot of wheeling and dealing.
But you're getting an established player, right?
Sure, I hear you.
And he's what, 22 years old, 21 years old?
It just kind of. I just don't think he's worth a first-round pick. First-round pick, that's valuable stuff.
But you know what you're going to get with the first-round pick. You're going to take a high-level receiver.
If the Eagles were 1 player away, 2 players away,
I don't know. He set you up.
I would be right on track with that. I would say, do what you got to do. But they need other pieces.
Julian, please don't ever say that again. Ever.
What?
Please, come on, dude. Are you serious?
No, that worked out.
You're not serious with that,
See how that worked out?
Why do they need Johnny Football? Julian, I want you to explain why you think the Eagles
needs a Johnny Football. I guess
why?
He's like a type player. Like
why?
I don't know.
They have Carson Wentz. Why do they need?
I don't know. I don't know if he means like a character like that. I don't know.
You want it like a Terrell Pryor type? Is that what you mean?
I welcome Terrell Pryor in town.
Sure.
Terrell Pryor would be great.
But is that what you're saying? Like
He's from around here.
Like a quarterback type?
Yeah.
Okay, you're kidding. I was going to say, I don't want Johnny Manziel anywhere near the Eagles.
No. I'd be surprised if he got in at all.
But yeah, I think they need to go and get a veteran. I would like that, personally.
Yeah.
Because, again, with the draft, you never know. You could get a guy like Mike Williams that comes in here and he's a total bust.
Yeah.
Plaxico Burress.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah. Number 2. I'm going to give you a couple bubble teams. You personally give me your opinion whether they're in or out. Got about 5, maybe 6. Illinois.
No.
Illinois.
No.
Sorry.
No.
No, you think they're out? Okay.
They're another team. Can't win on the road.
Okay. Wake Forest.
No.
Big win last night.
I'm not sure that overshadows what they've done this year, though.
That's a big win, though. I mean, that might go a long way. But
Again, I'd have to look. Can I look at Wake's resume quickly, Ryan? I'll come back to him. Go to the next team.
If you don't know it by now, jeez.
I haven't looked at it, honestly.
Next one. We'll do Vanderbilt.
Yeah, I do.
Vanderbilt.
Yeah, I think Vanderbilt should be in the tournament.
Vanderbilt should be in.
I don't think that, I think their resume is good enough. I think, I think they showed that they can hang with a good team. Again, it's all about Ryan. I think we have to understand. I do value what Mick Cronin said today. Mick Cronin came out and staunchly,
and he made a good point.
Yeah,
actually, he's not lying.
He's right, and I think Vanderbilt, to be honest, I think over Illinois, Wake, all those teams, they're going to sell tickets.
Mm-hmm. Michigan State.
Hell no.
Yeah, agreed. Georgia.
Michigan State's done after last night.
Agreed.
Georgia. That's a real question of do I want to see Georgia in the tournament? No, because I think Georgia's made it clear they can't. They just have bad luck. They don't win games they need
Won
to.
last night, though.
Well, it was against Auburn.
That's a game they needed, though.
Listen,
squeaked one
again,
out.
no, I think they might get in just because I think the Texas A&M win will kind of go from the wayside because it was a clock malfunction.
Yeah.
So
last one, Marquette. I believe they have 6 top 50 wins.
And they beat Villanova. Yeah, I think they should get in. I like Reinhardt a
agree.
lot. I like. They're fun to watch too.
Yep.
I think that's going to add. I'm surprised you didn't put Rhode Island on that list.
Because I both think I think everyone thinks they should.
I got to
get
tell
in.
you, I don't think they're going to get in. I want them to get in. I think they should be in. But I got to tell you, I think the LaSalle and Fordham losses are really going to hurt them.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Cal Golden Bears. Hopefully for all of our sakes.
I'm saying no.
Hopefully for all of our sakes, we don't have to see Cal in the tournament. But they're going to sell tickets too, so
Right.
maybe.
True.
I don't know what the committee's going to do.
Well, that's why I was saying it's your opinion.
Yeah. But I'm not high on a lot of those you
Yeah.
mentioned.
Number 3. We'll go through like we have recently. I'll give you a team. You tell me whether you think they can win it all.
Okay.
Kind of, as a couple weeks have gone by since our last one, we kind of reevaluate things around here. Let's go.
Is that what we do around here? Reevaluate?
Yeah, we're going to reevaluate the situation and
I like reevaluating.
and give our opinion.
I say that to a lot of women. I want to reevaluate the situation.
Duke.
Yes.
Duke can win it all.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Do you want a reason?
I
or
think
just
they.
yes?
I think they have the talent. I'm not sure they can put it all together through the tournament and win it all. But Duke is one of the few teams because usually for me this year more so than any other year, I am really definitive with these teams whether it's I think they're legit or I think they're bogus. They're a team, one of the few that I'm really on the fence with.
Not having a true point guard hurts them, but
True.
I think athleticism, talent wise, they're up north.
Florida.
No, they're a nice team. I don't think they have the
24-6 on the year.
Egbunu hurts them. Losing Egbunu, I think that's a tough one. They're a quintessential top 15 team.
Yeah.
I don't think they're good enough though to make the tournament.
Okay.
They also struggle to rebound the basketball. I don't know how good they are. Again, the SEC's been bad this year.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest.
No,
they've had
yeah.
one really good win against Kentucky.
Right.
Other than that, not in love with it.
West Virginia.
No.
I agree.
I think that whole thing the whole press Virginia, good teams.
I mean, there's a reason why they fall short every year.
Right.
I mean, there's a reason.
Again, Bob Huggins,
He's a
I'm a
good
big
coach,
fan of.
but
He's not a guy that I think can win a national title.
Yep.
And I don't know that they have a player that can win the national title. I'll tell you what, Ryan, if you put, actually, let me keep going with what you're saying.
Yeah, I'll give 2 more here. Let's go with.
I'll give you one better. I think West Virginia may lose early. Put it that way.
I could see it. Let's give these guys. Let's go back and reevaluate these guys and see if our opinion has changed. Has your opinion changed on Notre Dame at all?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I always really want them to do well, and I think I think their guard plays really, but I'm concerned with Matt Farrell. I mean, he's kind of went away. Like, we don't hear a lot about him anymore.
I know, that's what I said like 2 weeks ago.
I like Vesturia. I love Beecham and Bonte Colson.
Like he hit a wall.
And they are getting good bench production from like Pfluger and Gibbs, and Bray's a hell of a coach, but not having an inside presence as in a couple years ago. Zach August was a decent big.
Colson's getting
wasn't
some
anything,
nice
though.
minutes, but
It's going to be about the draw for them.
Agreed. They're definitely a team that will benefit from a favorable draw. Absolutely.
I'll tell you what, they will win games because of free throw shooting.
Yeah.
I mean, that's going to be
in March.
something
Play
that,
close games. Yeah.
Yeah, that's something that they have. And another thing I mentioned on the roundtable last week, they know how to win close games.
Yeah. No, they do.
You look at the last couple of years in the tournament.
Yeah.
They win close games.
Yeah.
So
last one.
that's important.
A team that I'm not high on, but I'm interested to see what your opinion is. Team that lost last night, Louisville.
I think they can. I could see them getting to the Final Four because I do think they have a lot of great pieces. Two very good guards.
Okay.
Mathiang and people like that. Deng Adele, and they're well coached. I know you're not a big Patino guy, but
Yeah.
it seems like they're always there. They don't always have like a
No, they're always
great
around.
player to take advantage. Like I don't know that Russ Smith was a great player. He's a great college.
No,
player,
he was a
though.
good college player.
Montrezl
Their guards
Harrell.
that year were fantastic. Him and Siva.
But I think even like this year, like Mitchell and Snyder are still really good. I think they can get there. I mean, I like them a whole lot more than like Virginia or Florida.
Sure. No, I would agree with that, actually. I'm
but-
not high on them, but I would agree with that sentiment.
Yeah, sure.
Good. I always like that kind of come back and see where our if our opinion has changed at all there. Number 4. Let's look. Combine starts here this weekend. That means the draft's only about a month away. Free agency starts next week. This is an interesting one to me because as I am not, and I don't think a lot of people are high on the quarterback class this year. I think the Eagles really were fortunate last year to get one, and they're not going to have to reach for one this year. But out of these 5 quarterbacks, who would you want to build your team around? Okay. I mean, you have to, right? I mean, it's just like you're Cleveland or you're the Bears. You need a quarterback. So who would you build your team around? Deshaun Watson, Mitch Trubisky, Deshaun Kaiser, Patrick Mahomes, or Davis Webb? Which one out of those 5 would you want to draft and be the focal point of your
Definitely
offense?
not Mahomes.
Agreed.
I think he's a system quarterback.
Absolutely. I said that.
Mitch Trubisky, he has opportunities.
He has potential.
Watson, no way. I think he's a fragile guy.
I think he's a college quarterback. Well, and I mean, guys like Mike Farrell, who I don't think you know, he's a big college recruiting guy for Rivals. He thinks Deshaun Watson's going to be fantastic in the NFL, and some other guys do too. I don't see it.
I don't see it either.
He's a winner, yes.
Plus, he's he's not durable at all. And
he's small.
He also is, I think to be a great quarterback like he is, you have to be big, like Cam Newton.
Except for, well, I mean, you don't have to be that big, but
But like a bigger guy.
Who's the only legit small quarterback right now?
Look at James Winston. He's a big kid too.
Drew Brees. Yeah. He's the only small quarterback that does well.
And look at Michael Vick, a smaller guy. It's not gonna. I would go with Davis Webb probably.
Davis Webb. I
think he's.
I kind of thought you would.
Yeah,
you would
I think he's a guy that will have a pretty decent career.
It's funny you picked him because I actually read an article this afternoon regarding him. Some scouts were just his kind of the trajectory and the velocity that the ball comes out of his hand. They're raving about it. They think he has some really big.
Well,
potential.
I mean, when you throw 60 times a game like they did, and remember he was at Texas Tech too.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
like him.
I pick either him or Kaiser. Look. It sucks because in the first round I wouldn't take Deshaun Kaiser. I look at him more as like a second round, but I think that kid has some potential. What he was able to do last year with an offense and a team and a coaching staff that was just in shambles to really kind of put the team on his back, I actually like Deshaun Kaiser.
Philip Walker didn't make the list.
No.
It's a joke.
No, I know, but it's no.
You know a quarterback that I could see maybe at the next level, maybe doing something, maybe even becoming like a position player. Quentin Flowers at South Florida.
From South Florida?
Yeah. Bigger kid.
Wasn't he? He's back next year.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah.
Bigger kid, though. I could see him, really kind of having a great senior season and maybe getting to the next level. I mean,
he needs to take a step forward with his passing. So,
well, true, and that's why I don't know if he'll stay a quarterback.
Yeah.
Maybe he won't make a team, but I think he could pop like a Keenan Reynolds type of player.
Okay. Last one here, number 5.
That's a great question.
Wrap things up.
So you don't think Jake Rudock will be in the NFL? Is he in the NFL?
He's in the NFL.
Is he?
Break his balls. He's a backup in Detroit.
No, the kid for Michigan this year.
Wilton Spate?
Yeah, you don't think he'll get
Well, it depends on how he does this year.
Oh, he's still, right?
He's back.
Is O'Corn going?
This will be the
fine?
first year. No, he actually decided to stay.
How many fucking years does that guy have?
He decided to stay. This is his last
I
time.
swear to God, John O'Corn. When I lived in
one.
Philly, which is like 4 years ago, he was still in
That's what
college.
it seems like. No, I know.
Honestly.
No, I know. This is his last year.
Christ.
He decided to stay. Shane Morris transferred. He'll be at Chippewa. He'll be at
Oh,
Central
really?
Michigan.
By the way, Cooper Rush might be a good NFL quarterback.
Possible.
That's a guy that...
I'm not sure if he'll be at the combine. I would expect him to
Nah,
be. It'll
he
be
will.
interesting to see. What?
He will be.
He should be, yeah. And it'll be interesting to see how he tests it.
One guy that will not be at the combine will be Chad Kelly. He won't be at the combine.
And Joe Mixon. By the way, did you hear what?
No,
I
I have no idea what's going on in the NFL.
the Lions, I think it was owner or GM Ross said about the Mixon situation. Google it later.
I will.
And look it up.
Well, I'm hoping it's something
It'll
bad.
kind of make you shake your head. Yeah. Last question of the day.
Did you hear Musburg yesterday offering opportunities at VSiN to those Richmond?
Good.
Based?
That's a joke. I mean,
It's a rule. Rules are
that's a
rule.
joke.
Like you say, Ryan, all the time.
Can't.
I agree with
you
it,
can't
but
play
it's a
fantasy
rule.
Football.
I agree.
It's terrible.
It's nothing to do with
It's a
anything.
shame. I mean, the NCAA should be worrying about getting rid of Baylor's football program, but instead they're suspending kids for playing fantasy football. Good job. Glad the priorities are in check. Last question. I think I know where your answer would be, but I'm just interested to see. I'm interested to hear, maybe what some other people would say. What's better in your opinion, the opening 2 days of the tournament or the Final Four / championship game?
First two.
Yeah, I agree.
First two is an eclectic ballet of beautiful basketball.
What are you into alliteration all of a sudden?
Yeah, it just is. I mean, it's there's nothing like that.
No, it's fun.
It's
great.
And I love now how with technology the way it is, you can watch any game
Anywhere
at any time.
Anywhere. Yep.
And again, I have 3 different ways to watch games, but we've talked about, and that's I think what's so great about our new show is we talk about how we watch games. I don't normally watch a lot of the games I bet on. It's kind of just something I don't like to do. You know that. Mm-hmm. There are some games I will watch for sure, but there's nothing like that. Games,
especially with the NCAA March Madness app. You can have it up on your iPad, you can have it up on your phone, you can have it on your computer, and you can have it on the television.
And they do a great job of timing.
Oh yeah, you got to. You have to.
It's really good as far as the way they do that, and you have games so late and just this time, like this week until the Final Four
it's fun. It's crazy. It seems like just yesterday Nova was hitting that final buzzer beater shot, and here we are already going to start the tournament again.
And don't forget you have other tournaments. There's a lot of money in those NITs and
stuff. Yeah.
The 4 or 5 other tournaments they have.
Yep.
The Vegas 16 and
Yep.
and all those. So, one other question I have for you, Ryan. What are your thoughts on I like this new thing they're doing. Have you heard about in college basketball how they're now getting announcers to remotely call the game?
I mean, like call the game not being there.
Right.
They've done that.
Yeah, I like that a
They've
lot.
done that.
I often wonder why
done,
they don't do that
they
a
have
lot
done
more.
That, yeah.
Like because last night the Utah State game, they didn't have a live announcer there, and Adrian Branch did it from his house.
Yeah,
Like, how sick is that? Like you literally would sit here like we are.
It's like, what do you do? Oh, I work at home. Oh, really? What field are you in? Oh, I broadcast games.
Well, obviously you'd probably have to do it from a studio or something.
Yeah,
but like,
I know.
let's say it's 5 minutes from your house.
Right.
That's my next big investment. Like getting a studio for myself.
I would much rather call a game there personally, but that's just me. I'd rather.
But
call
again,
it there.
like it's
you get the kind of the aura, you get the
Ryan,
passion, you get all that kind of stuff.
That's a tough thing to do if you're married, you have kids.
No,
It's a better way to. I think
you know what you're getting yourself into.
Plus, cost cutting is extremely cut. I mean, you don't have to deal with hotels and all that sort of thing. Who was TB12?
Tom Brady.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say like
he maybe not like big stocky wise, but he's tall.
I was wondering, like, I'm trying to think who TB12 is.
Yeah.
Because I didn't think he was relevant in the conversation. So I was like, okay.
Yep.
All right, Ryan, thanks for everything, man. Appreciate you always
welcome.
coming on the show.
Yep.
I don't know what I'm going to do without you for a while.
I'm sure you'll
Ryan, I
you'll
do
be
want to
fine.
tell you when I make it,
Okay.
I'm gonna help
I'll
you
hold
out.
you to that.
You know,
Yep.
we'll get you on
I'll
board.
be a good producer, I think, for you.
Oh yeah, you'll be like Flatterman with Brent Musburger.
There you go.
You're like the Flatterman.
There you go.
By the way, I know
very flattering.
I know I did funny. I know I did rail Brent for the comments about Joe Mixon. I do enjoy him a lot on the VSiN network.
Well, it's different.
I really like the show.
Different platform.
And it's so cool because like it's up to the minute. They talk about spreads. It's finally rescuing it from the back rooms and everything. Gambling, we all do. We need to start, pushing it into the forefront. We have odds makers, and I'm telling you, you will become a better handicapper. Ryan, you ask me all the time, why do I do the things that I do? I listen to that shit right there because I want to learn about how to do things.
Yeah.
And I think if you work hard, you'll do what you want to do. So, Ryan, thanks for coming on, man. Good luck with your new opportunity.
Thanks.
I'm sure we'll see you again.
No, for sure. And I'd like to get on that the right side of campus.
Yeah, we got to get you on.
Yep.
Maybe tomorrow you can come on if you're home.
Depends on. I don't think so. But
Why don't you just go into your job and
Figure
just,
it out.
say fuck all of you.
yeah, we'll figure it out.
You've been with that company a while though, so it's
yeah.
probably like
yeah. No, we'll figure it out. We'll figure something out.
Are they going to buy you a cake?
No, I doubt it.
Uh,
It sucks because I kind of wanted to give them a few like a longer notice, but look, it is what it is.
something just quickly.
Yep.
Well, good, Ryan. Enjoy yourself.
Yep.
As always, I am the big man on campus. My plays tonight. Ryan, his play of the day is on Mew.
26 and 24. So let's end it here. And look, I'm sure I'll give
You're
out
26 to 24, really?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So
even if you lose tonight, you've made
yeah. Well,
very little money,
very
probably.
little, yeah.
But actually, you'd probably be with Juice losing
exactly.
money. But you've done a great
get a
job,
win
Ryan, either
tonight.
way. Tonight, I like Murray State plus 3, Bucknell minus 13, and Boston University minus 7.5 against Loyola. Ryan's play of the day is on the Southern Methodist University Mustangs, laying 16.5 against Tulsa. Everyone have a great night. As always, thank you for listening and interacting with us today. We do appreciate it. We'll be back tomorrow. Donnie and I, right side of campus. We will be on live at 12:30 Eastern. So look out for that. I also urge you Saturday, look out for my interview with Andreas Hale from MMA Odds, boxing handicapper. We'll be talking about the Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia fight Saturday at the Barclays Center. So I'm looking forward to that as well. Join us tomorrow, SBR Sports Picks on Twitter. You can find me on Twitter at Jeff Nadeau. Feel free, still chat with Ryan. He's not going to the end of the earth either. You can always ask him about something. 55 years ago today, Wilt Chamberlain scored 100 points.
Yep.
Wow. In Hershey, not far from us. That was one thing that will never happen.
Yeah.
Even if you're LaMelo Ball. All right, everyone have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow, 12:30 Eastern. Bye-bye.